Now on CoastTV News.
Lewes's new playground. A brand new place to play open in Lewes.
Parking price hikes.
You should make things enticing for them to come here, not try to drive them out.
High rates, the reason for the jump, and what you'll pay.
Principal charged, a former Sussex Central leader accused of faking overtime for a romantic partner. Investigators say she stole thousands.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
You are looking now at Sussex Central High School, where its former principal is facing charges. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 6. We begin tonight with allegations of fraud and official misconduct.
This is Judith Brittingham. She was previously the Indian River School District's Director of Special Education. She served as interim principal of Sussex Central High School after former principal Bradley Layfield was let go due to a controversial fight. New tonight, we learned Brittingham has been arrested on multiple charges related to falsified payments made to a district staff member. Coast TV News anchor Christina DiRobertis is in the newsroom with more on this case that also involves a romantic relationship with an inferior. Christina?
According to the Delaware Department of Justice, Brittingham approved false overtime payments for a paraprofessional that Brittingham was in a relationship with. Prosecutors say Brittingham approved 159 false overtime shifts, paying the employee more than $15,000 between April 2022 and May 2023. The payments came to light in 2024 when the school's personnel director informed Brittingham that the district was aware of her romantic relationship with the paraprofessional and that both would be investigated. That's when Brittingham disclosed the payments and resigned. Investigators say the fraudulent paperwork stated that the paraprofessional worked overtime for in-home tutoring when the work actually happened during school hours. Tonight, the district is responding, saying, quote, "The district initiated an internal investigation and notified all agencies involved when it became aware of the alleged improprieties by Dr. Brittingham." They went on to say efforts to recoup the funds are in process. And investigators believe the paraprofessional was not aware of these false payments and he's not being charged. Back to you guys.
And this is not the first former principal at Sussex Central that has been embroiled in scandal. Bradley Layfield was fired after being on administrative leave for 6 months. It was a result of a lawsuit by a former student. 18-year-old Anaya Harmon claimed Layfield shared surveillance video of a school fight with other faculty members in which her breast was exposed, uncensored, and claimed Layfield made a meme. Layfield sued the district over his termination, saying he was treated unfairly and demanded reinstatement, which did not happen.
From now until Halloween, that's a long time, right? On Friday through Sunday, you have to pay to park in Ocean City. That expands to every day in this summer, and big changes have been made in town with the price hike and the removal of just about all kiosks in town. Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in Ocean City, and Kevin, people will have to use their phones to pay this summer.
Maddie, unless you were parking in the inlet lot, you will now have to use your phone to pay for parking. On top of this, there will be a price hike this summer for paid parking, something the town hasn't done in years. And now there will also be a 50-cent increase in town and a $1 increase at the inlet lot. And during the busy summer season, the prices will be even higher, with the current prices in town being bumped up by $1, and paid parking will be every day. One local thinks these increases are too much.
It's really hard for families to come down here as it is nowadays, and to keep upping the parking rate I think it's just ridiculous.
Daily paid parking will begin May 23rd, and that's also when the prices will go up by an extra $1. I'm Kevin Zappe, live in Ocean City, Coast TV News.
And parking fees aren't only in Ocean City. Just recently, Bethany Beach Town Council approved an increase in hourly parking rates. The new rate is $4 an hour. In the past, it was only $3. Town leaders say that the funds will help pay summer employee salaries, and that extra $1 also goes into effect this upcoming parking season, which begins May 15th. All of this brings us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, what is too expensive for parking in a coastal town?
Let's take a look at the updated results from last news hour. Take a look at your screen. 35% say $5, 46% say $4, which as we saw is actually less than some places. $3 and $2, people don't seem too worried for that right now.
And I'm curious if the $2 folks are saying $0 too.
Oh, yeah.
So if you haven't voted yet, you can still vote at CoastTV.com or use the Coast TV mobile app. We will show you an updated result on Coast TV News at 11.
Let's go ahead and take a live look into Ocean City as we turn it over to our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams with a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Maddie and Charlie. Listen, we had some turbulent weather yesterday. Today, things have calmed down like they should. But in the wake of that, here's a look at some of the numbers. We had over 1.5 inches in Seaford, just shy of that in Bridgeville, over an inch for us in Ellendale, Lewes, Georgetown, and Slaughter Beach at 1.09. Now, why is this important? Because believe it or not, we are still abnormally dry throughout our neck of the woods for Georgetown, Laurel, Delmar, Pittsville, Millsboro, Selbyville, Ocean Pines, Fenwick Island, and Ocean View. However, we're at moderate drought still even at this point in places like Seaford as well as Bridgeville. So Seaford, which is at the top of the list, could use that rain. In fact, we still need a little more rain, and we'll talk about the timing of the next wave of rain coming up in your full forecast. Till then, back to you, Maddie.
Paul, thank you. For the third time in 3 months, a pedestrian has been hit and killed in our area. The Milford Police Department says 78-year-old Martha Burnham was hit by a Honda Accord on Route 113 as she walked into the right lane near North Street Extended. Police say the 30-year-old driver stopped and called 911, but Burnham was dead. The driver, though, was not hurt. And new tonight, state police have identified 66-year-old Antonia Walton of Rehoboth as the woman who was hit and killed here in the Rehoboth Walmart parking lot Monday. You have footage of the scene here. Police say Walton was helping guide a driver backwards as he loaded mulch when he struck her.
Tariffs from the Trump administration are looming, and some Delaware appliance stores are bracing for the impact. The Trump administration is expected to announce another round of tariffs against imported goods tomorrow. Some local appliance retailers tell us they're worried they could be impacted either from selling imported appliances or imported parts to make them. Those retailers tell Coast TV they've started stocking inventory just in case, with one business owner saying they source products from across the globe.
Very complex, to be honest, because every single component is not all sourced from the next town over. We're talking about a global economy. We're talking about a global market.
And we expect to learn exactly what new tariffs are coming tomorrow.
Kids playing at the Canal Front Park Playground in Lewes, a site that brings a whole lot of joy. The playground now open after construction was on pause through the winter months due to cold weather. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken is live there in Lewes. Emma, the city says the new playground is more accessible for everyone.
Maddie, kids were having a blast here at the playground earlier today, and there's still plenty of screaming and running around going on. If you take a look at the ground, the city calls this safety surfacing. It's soft and squishy, unlike the mulch from the previous playground. And if you take a look over here, the kids are playing on a merry-go-round, and the city says it's even wheelchair accessible. Pure joy in motion. The new Canal Front Playground is already a hit in Lewes. It opened this week after the old playground was closed back in October. The city says it no longer met current playground standards and lacked accessibility. Dulcina Kemmerlin brought her grandson Caden to slide into some fun.
I believe that is wonderful. I like the fact that it's accessible for everyone.
The city says they are using $225,000 from the Delaware Outdoor Recreation Park and Trail Grant Program to help cover the estimated total project cost of about $450,000. Maria Clark DeForest says it's a great addition to Lewes.
This is our neighborhood playground. We're so excited to be here, and we're honestly super impressed.
With smiles, laughter, and a few woohoos, Lewes's littlest locals are giving this playground a big thumbs up. Lots of kids have been loving this ship sculpture as well, and now that the playground is officially open, it's smooth sailing from here. Live in Lewes, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Just wish Emma would have slid down the slide there, but it's okay. Well, a food assistance program is feeling the squeeze of federal budget cuts. The historic Lewes Farmers Market announced today funds for its farm community program will be terminated in July. They're calling for donations to keep the program that connects food pantries with local farmers like Henry Bennett going.
We believe that regardless of your socioeconomic level, everyone deserves access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And it not only keeps farms like ours in business, but it keeps our community fed, which at the end of the day, as a farmer, my main job is to keep people fed.
The historic Lewes Farmers Market hopes to grow enough through donations to keep that program going.
Neighbors in Ocean Pines feel they are getting the short end of the stick to help out with a county-wide deficit. Worcester County is facing an $8.5 million deficit in its water and wastewater funds, so the county is looking to its taxpayers to help pay that money back. A majority of county commissioners have proposed an across-the-board increase of $32 per quarter. But neighbors in Ocean Pines say they are not the main reason this deficit happened.
To me, it's like all of a sudden asking somebody, well, can you make their car payments this month? You know, that's not our job to do it. And I think that our commissioners, I'm very disappointed in the ones who are pushing this because they want to try to do the expedient thing rather than the fair and the right thing.
A public hearing for Worcester County's budget is scheduled for May 6th.
We are just getting started this evening.
Fenwick Parking plans a new seasonal permit idea could cut parking costs in half for businesses.
And the temps will be tumbling, believe it or not, to the 30s. Bring the chill back in the air. More on that coming up.
First, take a look at these pretty flowers. The city of Lewes getting ready for spring with the Tulip Festival. We'll be live there in just 60 seconds.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Spring is blooming and Lewes is, thanks to Lewes in Bloom. A large collection of tulips are spread all throughout the city.
Looks gorgeous out there. Members of Lewes in Bloom planted 31,000 tulips and 5,000 spring bulbs.
Coast TV News reporter Brendan Conroy joins us live there. And Brendan, this tulip festival brings guided tours, exhibitions, and even an Easter egg hunt this month.
Maddie and Charlie, it sure sounds and smells like spring out here, but let me show you some of the sights of spring. If you follow me right this way into this garden, you'll see these tulips planted by Lewes and Bloom in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce to make these next half-month days super, super special. And I want to show you one thing, aside from these tulips that you'll see planted all around this garden, there is a map that you can find at the entrance to the Chamber of Commerce or online. And right here, you can see all the paths where those tulips are planted across Lewes. Super special. You can do the trail yourself. You don't have to do a guided tour. You can also do a self-guided tour. And on the back are the list of those events. When I spoke with a husband and wife who came all the way down from Salisbury today to see these tulips, they said, well, now it's just part of their yearly routine.
Diana brought up the idea of the Tulip Festival here in Lewes from 1st to the 20th of April. So she suggests that since it's such a nice day, let's take a ride and look. And so that's what brought us here to Lewes today, or the tulips.
Yeah, it's a beautiful community, and this just even makes it more wonderful to see.
Right.
A list of those events can be found, like I said, on this paper that's at the entrance to the Chamber of Commerce or online at lewisinbloom.com. Reporting live in Lewes, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
Well, if you're lining up your putts for tomorrow, well, line up, enjoy some sunshine. Should be a pretty fair day. A little bit on the chilly side, but temperatures in the 50s. Unlike last night, tonight, everything's clear, calm, cool, and I guess we can go ahead and add collected to it as well, because we're under the influence of high pressure now, and all that storminess is out of the way. Although we did have a benefit from all that, a little bit of rain that we were sorely in need of, and we still need a little bit more, believe it or not. Our tunnel and razor camera, 54 degrees in Lewes for tonight, and we're going to get a little chilly for tonight. Winds staying relatively light, and with clear skies, we'll have a bit of radiational cooling that's going to kick in for us. I was mentioning the fact that we could use a little bit of the rain. Now, we had a range between 1.5 inches, a little bit over that, and right about 1/2 inch or more most locations. Overall, from where we take our stats in Georgetown, we're 1.95 or nearly 2 inches in excess of the rain we would typically have for this time of the year, for this month and for the year. That's good. But think about this. We are still abnormally dry throughout most of Sussex County. It's highlighted in yellow, abnormally dry right here. Now, we do have a couple of areas where we still have moderate drought, still activated even as we speak, which includes areas like Bridgeville, and Seaford. But we are catching up with our numbers, which is a good thing, particularly for the farmers. We're relatively clear for right now. The wind's picking up momentum. That's a little bit problematic for us because we still have small craft advisories in effect for the most southern portions of our viewing area and throughout portions of right off of the coast for us and Ocean City. But the winds are pouring out of the north for right now. And overnight, we're going to drop down to 40 degrees, if not that, possibly 39. For example, in places like Greenville, Seaford, Del Mar, and even in Salisbury for the folks that will be traveling in that direction. So Wednesday morning, we start off at 41 to 44 degrees, maybe 45 along the coast. We will see clouds going to increase for Wednesday, and we're only going to climb into the mid-50s. Now, that's for Wednesday. Thursday's a whole different animal. Thursday, we soar all the way up to near 80 to 81 degrees. That's really mild for us, particularly if we plan on doing some golfing on Thursday. For Ocean Pines down to Snow Hill, same situation. By the time we get to Thursday morning in the 60s, Thursday afternoon into the 80s we go. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Watching out for a chance of rain Friday, Saturday, a little bit on Sunday, and another round of rain on Monday.
Thank you, Paul. New at 6, Fenwick Island considering designating new parking zones for seasonal permits. These purple zones or business zones would be half the cost of a standard seasonal permit, going from $500 down to $250. Which streets, how many spots, and accessibility, that's still to be determined. The Business Concerns Committee meets again Friday for further discussion and possibly a vote.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening. Spring high school sports action is in full swing, and tonight on the Final Score, we'll have a Bayside South battle on the diamond. Stephen Decatur softball looking to improve to 5-0 while taking on a Parkside team coming off 2 straight conference losses. See who comes out on top on DSN at 10:30 p.m. To girls soccer action in Delaware, Cesar Brodney is aiming to advance to 2-0 on the year as they are squaring off with Sussex Central. The Golden Knights entered their 3rd matchup of the season with a .500 record. Watch this game streaming live on DSN Plus right now. To more Henlope in play, Smyrna girls soccer is eyeing their first win after starting the season with a 5-0 loss to Sussex Academy. Tonight, the Smyrna Eagles face off with the Cape Henlopen Vikings, who are on a 2-game winning streak. This showdown is streaming live on DSN Plus at 6:30 p.m. And tonight on DSN's The Final Score at 10:30 p.m., watch highlights from James M. Bennett Boys Lacrosse taking on Worcester Prep. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
The Lewes Police Department had some fun this April Fool's Day. They replaced the iconic Lewes cannonball with a strawberry donut and sprinkles Photoshop, right? You might remember a few years ago, the cannonball infamously went missing. It was later returned, so this is just kind of poking fun at that. Lewes Police even said to call its April Fool's hotline at 302-645-GOTCHA for tips on the theft. Pretty good.
Love that.
I love that.
But it was a unique donut with sprinkles on it. Yeah. That's the whole point. In-depth investigation. You love it. All right, our Hershey's exterior camera in Ocean City, 54 degrees. We anticipate dropping to the 40s rather rapidly thanks to the clear skies and light winds gently blowing out of the north, by the way. Now, we are still under a craft advisory force in Ocean City down towards Chincoteague for about 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts, so please keep that in mind if you're in the Ocean City area. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Tim McBride of Fruitland. Congratulations. Courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration. Keep up with your forecast with our weather line, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast from 57 to 80 down to 69. And you know what? Next week, I hate to say it, but next Tuesday going to Wednesday, we're going to drop the freezing one more time.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
The NBC Nightly News is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 11. Have a great evening.